Okay. Okay. So let's continue with this. Okay.
हाँ अब that is the
Please do mute yourselves. I assume you can see my screen. Can I? Yes. Okay. Okay. So here we are. Yes. Okay. Okay. Here we are. Chapter 2, text 7 onwards. कार्पण्य दोषोपहत स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः यच्छ्रेयस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम्. Now I'm confused about my duty, and I've lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I'm asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I'm your disciple, and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. नहि प्रपश्यामि ममापनुद्याद्यक्षोकमुच्छोषणमिन्द्रियाणाम् अवाप्य भूमा वसपत्नमृद्धं राज्यं सुराणामपि चाधिपत्यम्. I can find no means to drive away this grief which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to dispel it even if I win a prosperous, unrivaled kingdom on earth with sovereignty like the demigods in heaven. এক্ষণে আমি ধর্ম বিমূঢ়চিত্ত এবং স্বাভাবিক বীরভাব ত্যাগ ও কার্পণ্য দোষে অভিভূত হইয়া আপনাকে জিজ্ঞাসা করিতেছি. Right now, my mind is confused about dharma, and having become overcome by the defect of miserliness, I have abandoned my nature as a hero, and so I'm asking you this. That somebody came in. আমার পক্ষে যাহা শ্রেয়স্কর তাহাই নিশ্চয় করিয়া উপদেশ দেন. আমি আপনার শিষ্য, আপনারই শরণাপন্ন হইলাম. পৃথিবীর নিষ্কণ্টক সমৃদ্ধ রাজ্য ও দেবাধিপত্য প্রাপ্ত হইলেও এই যে শোক আমার ইন্দ্রিয়গণকে পরিশোষণ করিবে তাহা অপনোদনের আমি কোনো উপায় দেখিতে পাই না. ननु तर्हि सोपपत्तिकं शास्त्रार्थं त्वमेव ब्रुवाणः. क्षत्रियः भूत्वा भिक्षाटनं निश्चिनोषि तर्हि अलं मदुक्त्या इति तत्राह कार्पण्येति. Then Arjuna anticipates that Lord Krishna would tell him, so you are speaking the teachings of Shastra with a rational basis, on a rational basis. You have concluded that you have decided to go for begging, even though you are a Kshatriya. So then, what is the use of my speaking to you? What is the use of my speech, or why should I speak? anticipating this, he speaks this verse. Swabhavikasya shauriyasya tyaga eva me karpanyam. My miserliness is my renunciation, or my giving up of my natural heroic nature. Dharmasya sukshma gatir ityato dharma vyavasthayam api aham mudha buddhireva asmi. It is known that the ways of dharma are very fine and difficult to understand. So even in understanding the arrangement of dharma, I am bewildered, stupefied in my intelligence. Ataha tvameva nishchitya shreyo bruhi. So you decide, you determine, conclude, and tell me what is shreyas, what is good for me. Nano madvachastvam pandita manitvena khandayasi chet katham bruyam tatraha shishyaste ham asmi. And then he anticipates that Lord Krishna would tell him, but considering yourself to be a learned scholar, if you refute my words, why should I speak if you are going to refute my words thinking yourself a scholar? Anticipating this, Arjuna says, Shishyaste ham asmi. Shishyaste ham. I am your disciple. Natah param vritha khandayami iti bhavaha. It is implied that I will not uselessly refute you or argue against you. In Prabhupada's lectures, he talks about the distinction between Shreyaha and Preyaha. And these are two expressions that we find in the scriptures. Shreyas and Preyas. Shreyas refers to that which is beneficial, and Preyas refers to that which is pleasing immediately. Intelligent people are not bewildered by that which is immediately pleasing. Rather, they take up activities which will give more benefit later on. And Prabhupada says that just like children don't like to go to school often, they like to play at home all day. But the parents, they still forcibly they send them because they are thinking about Shreyas. They are not thinking about Preyas. The child wants to play, that is Preyas. But if he goes to school, then he gets educated, and then he gets qualified to have a source of living later on. So that is Shreya, relatively speaking. The other point that Prabhupada makes is after one becomes a disciple, surrendered unto the spiritual master, he cannot argue with the spiritual master. So therefore, Arjuna stated, Shishyahateham, I am your disciple. The implication is I will not argue against you. Nano mayi tava sakhya bhava eva natu gauravam ataha tvam kathamaham shishyam karomi tasmad yatra tava gauravam tam kamapi tvayapayanadikam prapadyasva ityataha nahiti. And then he anticipates that Lord Krishna would want to tell him, you have a friendly attitude towards me. You do not have a respectful attitude towards me. Therefore, how can I make you my disciple? To become a disciple is a two-way process. It's not enough if X wants to become a disciple of Y. Y should also accept X as his disciple. So Arjuna wants to become a disciple, but he's considering whether Krishna would accept him as his disciple. तस्माद् यत्र तव गौरवं तं कमपि द्वैपायनादिकं प्रपद्यस्व. So he anticipates that Lord Krishna might tell him. So wherever you have, okay, whoever you uh, have respect for, like Dvaipayana Vyasa, you surrender unto him. You surrender unto someone that you naturally have a respect for. So anticipating that, Arjuna speaks, text number 8. Mama shokam apanudyat दूरीकुर्यादेव एवं जनम न प्रकर्षेण पश्यामि त्रिजगति ekam tvam vina. In the three worlds other than you, I don't properly find even one person who can remove my distress. Swadharmad adhika buddhimantam brihaspatiम api न जानामि इत्यतः शोकार्थ एव खलु कम प्रपद्ये इति भावः प्रपद्येय इति भावः. The implication is no swasmad adhika buddhimantam, not swadharmad, swasmad. I don't even find Brihaspati, who is more intelligent than me, to be capable of this. So how can I how can I, who's inflicted by suffering, how can I take shelter of whom? Who is there for me to surrender unto? This is the implication. Yet, now he'll give the reason. Yat yataha shokadi indriyanam uchchosham mahanidaghat Shudra sarasamiva utkarshena shoshaka bhavati. The lamentation and so on, they are drying up my senses. Just as on a very hot summer day, a tiny pond, it dries up. ननु तर्हि साम्प्रतं त्वं शोकार्थ एव खलु युध्यस्व ततः च एतान् जित्वा राज्यं प्राप्तवतः तव राज्यभोग अभिनिवेशेनैव शोकः अपयास्यतीत्यतः अवाप्येति. Then he anticipates that Lord Krishna might be thinking, okay, right now you are overcome by lamentation, you are in distress due to this lamentation. You go on war, and after winning these people, after you have attained your kingdom, then being absorbed in royal enjoyment, that distress would go away by itself. Anticipating this, he says, the text beginning, avapya. Bhumau nishkantakam rajyam swarge suranam adhipatyam va prapya api sitasya mama indriyanam etat uchchoshanameva ityartha. No, my senses will be dried up. Even if I get a kingdom on earth which is free from thorns, and even if I attain sovereignty over the devas in Swarga, even then this problem would not go away. So Arjuna clearly understands the nature of the problem that he has got into. Like he has committed some spiritual mistake. It is not just a material mistake, because if it were to be a material mistake, then he would not speak this verse. He would not say that even with material arrangement, this problem cannot be solved. Sanjaya vacha eva muktva rishikesham gudakeshah parantapaha nayotsya iti govinda muktva tushnim babhuvaha tam uvacha rishikesha prahasanniva bharata senayor bhayor madhye vishidantam idam vachaha. Sanjay said, having spoken thus, Arjuna, chastiser of enemies, told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight, and fell silent. O descendant of Bharata, at that time Krishna, smiling in the midst of both the armies, spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjuna. संजय को हेलेन अनंतर शत्रुतापन गुड़ाकेश अर्जुन गोविंद आमी युद्ध करिब ना ऋषिकेशকে এই কথা বলিয়া তুষ্ণীম ভাব অবলম্বন করিলেন। হে ধৃতরাষ্ট্র, তখন উভয়পক্ষীয় সেনাগণের মধ্যে অবস্থিত বিষাদগ্রস্ত পার্থকে ঋষিকেশ সহাস্যে এই কথা কহিলেন। अहो तवाप्येतावान् खलु अविवेकः इति सख्यभावेन तं प्रहसन् अनौचित्यप्रकाशेन लज्जाम्बुदौ निमज्जयन् इवेति तदानीं शिष्यभावं प्राप्ते तस्मिन् हास्यम् अनुचितम् इति अधरोष्टनिकुञ्चनेन हास्यम् आवृण्वंश्च इत्यर्थः। And then Lord Krishna he became immersed in an ocean of embarrassment while smiling at him out of a friendly attitude. Oh, even you have lost your intelligence to such an extent, to this extent. He smiled too slightly because it is not appropriate for him to smile at a disciple. Arjuna has accepted the attitude of a disciple, so therefore it is not appropriate for him to laugh with him. So therefore he controlled the smile that was appearing on his lips. ऋषिकेश इति पूर्वं प्रेम्णैव अर्जुन वाङ् नियम्यः अपि साम्प्रतम् अर्जुन हितकारित्वात् प्रेम्णैव अर्जुन मनोनियन्ता अपि भवति इति भावः. Is implied by the expression Rishikesha, that previously he was controlled by the words of Arjuna due to Arjuna's love. Now, in order to do good to Arjuna, by that same love, he is now controlling Arjuna's mind. In both cases, he is Rishikesha. Senayorubhayor madhye iti अर्जुनस्य विषादः भगवता प्रबोधश्च उभाभ्यां सेनाभ्यां सामान्यतः दृष्टः एव इति भावः. सेनयोरुभयोर मध्ये implies that Arjuna's lamentation and his enlightenment by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, both of them were observed in general equally by both armies. Both armies saw this is a public activity. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Ashochan Anvashocastvam Pragyavadamscha Bhashase Gatasun Agatasumscha Nanushocanti Panditaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. Okay. नत्वेवाहं जातुनासं न त्वं नेमे जनाधिपाः न चैव न भविष्यामः सर्वे वयमतः परम्. Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. भगवान बोलेन, अर्जुन तुम्हें জ্ঞানবান দিগের ন্যায় বাক্য বলিয়া ও অসহ্য বিষয়ে শোক করিতেছ, কেননা পণ্ডিতগণ কি মৃত কি জীবিত কাহারও নিমিত্ত শোক করেন না। আত্মা অবিনাশী, অতএব শোকের কোনো কারণ নাই। The soul is indestructible, therefore there is no reason for lamentation. Atma dvividha, Paramatma or Jivatma. And Atma is of two types, the Supreme Soul and the Jiva Soul. Ami Paramatma, Tumi, O Ei Nripati Varga Sakalai Jivatma. I am the Supreme Soul. You and all these kings, you are Jivatmas. Ami Tumi, O Ei Shakal Raja Purbe Je Chilona, Emon Noy. It was not that I, you, and all these kings did not exist in the past. Pore je thakibe na tahao nai. And it is not that we would not exist. অর্থাৎ আমরা সকলেই এখনো আছি. Other words, all of us are still here. পূর্বে ছিলাম, we were there in the past. পরেও থাকিব, and we will all be here in the future. In other words, both the Jivatmas and the Paramatma, all of them existed, exist, and will exist continuously. भो अर्जुन, तवायं बन्धुवध हेतुकः शोकः भ्रममूलक एव, तथा कथं भीष्ममहं संख्ये इत्यादिकः विवेकश्च अप्रज्ञामूलक एव इत्याह अशोच्यान् शोक अनर्हानेव त्वम् अन्वशोचः अनुशोचितवानसि. Arjuna, this lamentation due to the slaughter of your relatives is based on a delusion. The statement Katham Bhishmaham Sankhye, the statement how can I kill in battle Bhishma, Drona, and so on. This kind of discrimination, that is also based on ignorance, lack of wisdom. With all this in mind, Lord Krishna speaks his first instruction, Ashochyana Nushocastvam. You have lamented for that which is not worthy of lamentation. Tathatvam prabodhayantam mam prati pragyavadan pragyayam satyam eva ye vadah katham bhishmoham sankhya dini vakyani tan bhashase na tu tava kapi pragya vartate iti bhavah. And then you are telling me who I am enlightening you, and you are telling me, you are speaking words of wisdom. That means you are speaking words like, how can I kill in battle persons like Bhishma? But he implies, Lord Krishna implies here, that you have absolutely no intelligence. Yataha, because Panditaha, Pragyavantaha, those who do have wisdom, Gatasun, Gata, Nisritaha, Bhavantya, Savaha, Yebhyaha, Tan, Sthuladehan, Nashochanti, Tesham, Nashwara Bhavatvat, Iti Bhava. Because those who have wisdom, they do not lament about the gross bodies from whom the life airs go away, because these gross bodies, their existence is temporary. They are of temporary existence. Agatason anisrita prana sukshmadehan api na shochanti tehi mukteh purvam anashvara eva abhoyesham api tatha swabhavasya dushpariharatvat. Nor do they lament for the subtle bodies from whom the life airs don't go away. These subtle bodies, until one attains liberation, they are also temporary, certainly. After one attains liberation, then the subtle bodies are dissolved in material existence. One goes away. He no longer has a subtle body. They are permanent until liberation, but afterwards, uh, 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 one is no longer with the subtle bodies. In both cases, it is impossible for each of these to give up their nature. The gross bodies have their natures, the subtle bodies have their natures. मूर्खास्तु पित्रादिदेहेभ्यः प्राणेषु निःसृतेषु एव शोचन्ति सूक्ष्मदेहांस्तु न ते प्रायः परिचिन्वन्ति अतः तैः अलम्. Foolish people, on the other hand, they lament when the life heirs of their fathers and so on leave their bodies. They practically do not recognize the subtle bodies. So there is no point in considering this. Ete hi sarve bhishmadeyah stula sukshmadehah sahitah atmanah eva. All of these persons, beginning with Bhishma, all of them are souls with subtle and gross bodies. Atmanam tu nityatvat teshu shoka pravrittihi eva na asti iti atah tvaya yat purvam arthashastra dharmashastram balavat ityuktam tatra maya tu dharmashasтрadapi jnanashastram balavat ityuchyate iti bhavah. The souls are eternal. Therefore, it's no question of lamenting about them. So the implication is, you had pointed out that Dharma Shastra is stronger than Artha Shastra. In that regard, I am pointing out that Jnana Shastra, scriptures about spiritual knowledge, they are stronger than Dharma Shastras also. अथवा सखे त्वाम अहम एवं पृच्छामि, or else, my friend, let me ask you this: किम च प्रीत्यास्पदस्य मरणे दृष्टे सति शोकः जायते तत्र इह प्रीत्यास्पदम आत्मा देहः वा? When we see that a person whom we love, or the object of love, when we see him to be dead, then lamentation arises. Now here, that object of love, is that the soul or is that the body? सर्वेषाम् एव भूतानां नृपस्वात्मैव वल्लभः इति शुकोक्तेः आत्मा एव प्रीत्यास्पदम् इति चेत् तर्हि जीव ईश्वर भेदेन द्विविधस्य एव आत्मनः नित्यत्वात् एव मरण अभावात् आत्मा शोकस्य विषयः न इत्याह नत्वेवाहम् इति. But because Shukadev has stated that for all beings, or king, one's own soul is most dear to him. So therefore, if you say that it is the soul, the Atma, that is the object of love, then because there are two types of Atmas, There is the Jiva and there is the Ishvara. And both of them are eternal. Both of them cannot die. Therefore, the Atma is not an object of lamentation. With this in mind, he speaks, Natvevaham. Aham Paramatma Jatu Kadapi Purvam na Asamiti na Apitu Asameva. I am the Supreme Soul. At no point in time in the past did I not exist. On the other hand, I have always existed. Tatha Twamapi Jivatma Asihi eva. And you, a Jivatma, have always existed. Tatha ime janadhipaha rajanaha cha jivatmanaha asanneva iti prag abhava abhava darshitaha. These kings, they are Jivatmas. They also existed. So here Krishna is pointing out the absence of their previous absence. In other words, they have always existed. Tatha sarve vayam aham tvam ime janadhipaha cha atah param na bhavishyamaha na sthasyamaha iti na apitu sthasyama eva iti dhvamsa abhavasya darshitaha. And all of us, I, you, these kings, it is not that we will not exist. On the other hand, all of us will certainly exist. So here Krishna points out that there is no destruction for everyone. Iti paramatmanah jivatmanam cha nityatvad atma na shoka visheha iti sadhitam. Thus, because the Supreme Soul and the individual souls are eternal, the Atma is not an object of lamentation. This has been demonstrated. Atra Shrutayaha Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yo Vidathati Kaman Ityadyaha. The Shruti texts in this regard are Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yo Vidathati Kaman Tamatmastham Yeno Pashyanti Dhiras Tesham Shanti Shashwati Netaresham, and so on. Which means the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the maintainer of innumerable living entities. Eko Bahunam Yo Vidathati Kaman. He provides the needs of the living entities. One eternal conscious being provides the needs of the many eternal conscious beings. Of course, that happens according to their karma. That Supreme Being is present in the heart of every living entity. So those sober, saintly persons who can continuously see Him, in other words, who can see Him within and without, that Supreme Lord, they attain eternal and perfect peace. Others don't attain eternal and perfect peace. Dehinosmin yatha dehi kaumaram yauvanam jara तथा देहांतर प्राप्तिर धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदाः आगमापायिनो नित्यास् तां स्थितिक्षस्व भारत. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception of scion of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. যেমন দেহ ধারণ করিয়া এই দেহই ক্রমান্বয়ে কৌমার যৌবন ও জরাগ্রস্ত হইতে হয়, অথচ দেহির অস্তিত্ব থাকে, তেমনি দেহান্তর হইলেও দেহির অস্তিত্বের লোপ হয় না. Just as having accepted a body, in this very body, sequentially, one has to go through boyhood, youth, and one is under the clutches of old age also. At the same time, uh, the embodied soul continues to exist. Similarly, after it is transferred to another body, the existence of the embodied soul is not lost. বরং যেমন কৌমার অবস্থা অন্তে যৌবন প্রাপ্তিতে হর্ষ ও সুখের উদয় হয়, তেমনি জরাগ্রস্ত দেহ ত্যাগে ভগবত ভক্ত আত্মার উৎকর্ষ ও হর্ষই হইয়া থাকে. সুতরাং দেহনাশে কেহ অর্থাৎ ধীর ব্যক্তিরা শোক করে না. Just on the other hand, just as at the end of the stage of boyhood, when one attains youth, there is delight and happiness. Similarly, after giving up the body that has succumbed to old age, for the soul who is the devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is a promotion and delight. Therefore, nobody, meaning no sober person, laments about the destruction of the body. মাত্রা অর্থাৎ ইন্দ্রিয়ের অনুভব বিষয় সুখ দুঃখ দায়ক শীত গ্রীষ্ম অনিত্য. Matra refers to the objects of experience of the senses. Heat and cold are temporary. They give happiness and distress. Hey Kunti Putra, O son of Kunti, এই সকল সহ্য করাও শাস্ত্রবিহিত ধর্ম. To tolerate this is dharma prescribed in Shastra. যুদ্ধ ক্ষত্রিয়ের স্বভাবজ ধর্ম, তাহা পরিত্যাগ করিলে কালে মহান অনর্থের সংঘটন হইতে পারে. If one abandons dharma that is natural to a kshatriya, then over time one may fall into great calamity, into the peril of great calamity. One might come across great calamity. Now, this is a topic which, of course, comes several times in the scriptures, specifically in Mahabharata, Ramayana, Bhagavatam, and so on. Like one should not give up dharma. That will lead to extreme distress in the future. ननु च आत्मसंबंधेन देहः अपि प्रीत्यास्पदं स्यात्. देहसंबंधेन पुत्रभ्रात्रादयः अपि तत्संबंधेन नप्त्रादयः अपि अतः तेषां नाशे शोकः स्यादेवेति चेत् अत आह देहिनः इति. Lord Krishna then anticipates that Arjuna might be thinking the body in relation to the Atma can be the object of love, and one's sons, brothers and so on in relationship with the body, they would also be objects of love. And one's grandsons and so on, who are related to one's sons, brothers, and so on, they would also be objects of love. So when they are destroyed, naturally there would be lamentation. If Arjuna puts forward this argument, then Lord Krishna has the current verse, Dekhinosmin yatha dehe, to say, Dehinaha jivasya asmin dehe kaumaram kaumara praptihi bhavati. In this body of the embodied soul of the jiva, uh, there is boyhood. In other words, the living entity encounters boyhood. ततः कौमारनाशानन्तरं यौवननाशानन्तरं जराप्राप्तिर्यथा तथा एव देहान्तरप्राप्तिरिति. After the destruction of boyhood, there is the attainment of youth. After the destruction of youth, there is the attainment of old age. Similarly, there is the attainment of another body. ततः च आत्मसंबंधिनां कौमार आदीनां प्रीत्यास्पदानां नाशे यथा शोकः न क्रियते तथा देहस्य अपि आत्मसंबंधिः प्रीत्यास्पदस्य नाशे शोकः न कर्तव्यः. Just as one does not lament at the destruction of one's boyhood and so on, which are connected to the soul. Similarly, when the body which is connected to the soul is destroyed, one should not lament, even though that body is an object of love. यौवनस्य नाशे जराप्राप्तौ शोकः जायते इति चेत् कौमारस्य नाशे यौवनप्राप्तौ हर्षेऽपि जायते इति. If you were to say that when youth is destroyed and when old age is attained, lamentation arises, is it not? Then I will have to say that when boyhood is destroyed and youth is attained, then one also attains delight. Ataha Bhishma Drona Adinam Jirnadehanashe Khalu Navya Dehantara Praptau Tarhi Harshaha Kriyatam Iti Bhavaha. So Lord Krishna implies that at the destruction of the decayed bodies of Bhishma, Drona and others, and at their attaining fresh other bodies which are fresh, so you should be delighted. Yadva ekasminnapi dehe kaumaradinam yatha praptihi tathaiva ekasyapi dehinah jivasya nana dehanam praptihi iti. Another meaning, very intelligent explanation. Just as in one body there are various states that are attained, similarly for the one soul there is attainment of various bodies. Just as there is one soul, there is one body, and that one body one experiences various states: boyhood, youth, old age. Similarly, for the one soul, he sequentially goes on accepting various bodies. And just as one doesn't lament for the varied states of the body, similarly, one should not lament for the varied bodies in relationship to the soul. Okay, then Okay, technically, this is a good time for me to point out something. One should learn the distinction between dravya, which means substance, and avastha, which means state. For instance, in the ocean, the water is substance. On the other hand, a wave is a state. When water comes in a certain shape, then we give a name to that shape. It is not a substance, it is a state of that substance. So, boyhood, youth, old age are states, whereas the body itself is a substance. At least it appears to be so. Okay, we'll continue further. Nanu satyam eva tattvam tadapi avivekinah mama manah eva anarthakari. This is wrong. Not been typed properly. Wait, let me find the Devanagari version. Mm, Vrthaiva shokamoha vyaptam dukkayati ityartha. Okay. Mm, Arjuna then laments. Wait. Zoom in. Yes, this is the truth. Still, uh, I am lacking in discrimination, and my mind producing a disaster is uselessly uh, producing distress because it is overwhelmed by uh, lamentation and delusion. तत्र न केवलम् एकं मन एव अपि तु मनसः वृत्तयः अपि सर्वाः त्वग् आदि इन्द्रियरूपाः स्वविषय अनुभाव्यनर्थकारिण्यः. There are also the various aspects of the mind, the senses, beginning with the sense of speech. They bring about disaster by making us experience their respective sense objects. With this in mind, he speaks the next text, Matra. Matra, इन्द्रियग्राह्यविषयाः तेषां स्पर्शः अनुभवाः शीत उष्णं च शीतोष्ण इति आगमापायनः इति. The sense objects refers to objects which can be grasped by the senses. sparsha or touching the sense objects refers to experiencing the sense objects. They are cold and hot. They come and go. यद्देव शीतल जलादिकम् उष्णकाले सुखदं तद्देव शीतकाले दुःखम् अतः अनियतत्वात् आगम अपायत्वाच्च तान् विषय अनुभवान् तितिक्षस्व सहस्व. Because cold water and so on in hot season is pleasing, and that itself is distressing in the cold season. Therefore, there is no regulation between sense objects and happiness, certain sense objects and happiness, and certain sense objects and unhappiness. Small point, but very important point. It is not that there is some sense object which will always make us happy in our mind, and it is not that there are always sense objects which will make our minds unhappy. There are varied factors because of which you may feel happy with a particular sense object, and you may feel unhappy with the same sense object in a different circumstance. So there's no one-to-one correspondence between attainment of certain sense objects and happiness, or attainment of some other sense objects and unhappiness. Then agama apayatvacha, they also come and go. That which gives happiness comes and goes, that which gives unhappiness also comes and goes. So Lord Krishna advises Arjuna that just tolerate those experiences of sense objects. Tesham sahanam eva shastra vichito dharmaha. It is the duty prescribed in Shastra that we should tolerate sense objects. Nahi maghe masi jalasya dukkhadatva buddhya eva buddhya iva shastre vihitaha snanarupaha dharmaha tyajyate. Indeed, in the month of Magha, nobody, of course he's referring to those who are attached to Vedic Dharma, nobody gives up the dharma of taking bath in that cold water which is very distressing. Rather, one carries out that dharma as mentioned in Shastra. Dharma eva kale sarva anartha nivrittikaha bhavati. It is dharma itself which will remove all anarthas over time. Evameva ye putra bhratradhyaha utpatti kale dhanadyuparjana kale cha sukhdaha te eva mrityu kale dukkada agama payanaha anityaha tanapi titikshasva. In this manner, one's son, one's brother, and so on, when they are born, they give happiness, and when they earn wealth and so on, also they give happiness. Similarly, at the time of death, they give unhappiness. So tolerate all these which come and go. These are temporary. So tolerate this. Natu tad anurodhena yuddharupaha shastra vihitaha adharmaha tyajyaha. Something is wrong here. Swadharmaha tyajyaha. And keeping this in mind, one should not give up one's own swadharma, which has been prescribed in Shastra, and it is in the form of a war for you. Vihita dharma Vihita dharma anacharanam खलु काले महानर्थकृदेव इति भावः. It is implied that to not perform one's prescribed duties over time will lead to great uh, disaster. There are two types of sinful activities. There is the sinful activity of doing doing what one is not supposed to, and there is the sinful activity of avoiding that uh, which one is supposed to do. So that is what Lord Krishna is referring to here. Yam hi na vyathayanti ete purusham purusharshapha samadukha sukham jiram somritatvaya kalpate nasato vidyate bhavo na bhavo vidyate satah ubhayor api dishtontas tvanayos tattvadarshibhi. O best among men, Arjuna, the person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress and is steady in both is certainly eligible for liberation. Those who are seers of the truth have concluded that of the non-existent, the material body, there is no endurance, and of the eternal soul, there is no change. This they have concluded by studying the nature of both. हे पुरुष श्रेष्ठ, जे पुरुष शीत उष्णादि द्वारा व्यथित ना होन सुख दुख के समान ज्ञान करें সেই ধীর ব্যক্তি অমৃতত্বে অর্থাৎ মোক্ষত্বে নীত হইবার যোগ্য. O best of men, that person who is not disturbed by cold, hot, and so on, and who considers happiness and distress to be equal, such a sober person, he is fit to be taken to immortality or liberation. শোকমোহাদি অনাত্ম ধর্ম কেবল দেহকেই আশ্রয় করিয়া থাকে, আত্মস্বরূপ জীবে তাহার সত্তা নাই. Lamentation, delusion, and so on, they are natures not of the souls. They only take shelter of the body. There is no existence of these in the jiva, who is the atma. When the satswarup jiver nash hoite pare na, it is not possible for the jiva's nature of eternity to be destroyed. অতএব তত্ত্বদর্শীগণ সৎ ও অসৎকে এই রূপ পৃথক করিয়া ইহাদের তত্ত্ব বিচার করিয়াছে. Therefore, those who have seen the truth, they distinguish between Sat and Asat. This is how they analyze the truth. Etan nibandhan जीवात्मा स्वरूप भीष्मादीर देहमात्र नश्वर. The living entity is of the nature of the soul, and the mere bodies of Bhishma and others are temporary. তাহাদের স্বরূপত নাশ হইতে পারে না. It is not possible for their constitutional nature to be destroyed. एवं विचारेण तत्सहन अभ्यासे सति ते विषया अनुभवाः काले किल नापि दुःखयन्ति यदि च न दुःखयन्ति तदा आत्ममुक्तिः स्वप्रत्यासन्नैव इत्याह यमिति अमृतत्वाय मोक्षाय. So by this analysis, by practicing to tolerate all of this, one's sense objects over time do not lead to distress. Even if they don't lead to distress, the liberation of the pure soul has come close to him. Here, one can attain mortality means one can attain moksha, which means liberation. एतच्च विवेकदशान् अधिरूढान् इति उक्तम्. वस्तुतस्तु असंगो ह्ययं पुरुष इति श्रुतेः जीवात्मनश्च स्थूल सूक्ष्मदेहाभ्यां तद्धर्मैः शोकमोहादिभिश्च सम्बन्धः नास्ति एव. For those who have not climbed to the status of discrimination, this has been spoken. In reality, the Shruti says, Asungo Hyayam Purushaha. Man indeed it's not actually referring to a man, it's referring to the soul. The soul indeed is uncontaminated or disassociated with this environment. The living entity factually has no connection with the gross and subtle bodies, nor with shoka, moha, bhaya, and so on, lamentation, delusion, and so on, because these are natures of the gross body and subtle body. tat sambandhasya avidya kalpitatvat ityaha neti. And because their respective effects are created by avidya, created by delusion, asataha anatma dharmatvad atmani jive avartamanasya shoka moha dehe tad ashrayasya dehasya cha bhavaha satta na asti. For that which does not exist, for the asat, because it has a characteristic of not being the soul. In other words, it is not, because it is not found in the Atma or the Jivatma. Lamentation, delusion, and so on. Lamentation, delusion, and so on has no factual existence in that body. Tatha sataha satya rupasya jivatmanaha abhavaha nashakha nasti. And for the jivatma who is eternal, there is no destruction. Tasmad ubhayoho etayoho asat satoho anta antaha nirnayaha ayam drishtaha. Therefore, this is the final conclusion regarding both of them. Tena bhishmadishu tvad adishu cha jivatmasu satyatvad annashwareshu deha daihika viveka shoka mohadayaha na eva santiti. So therefore, for Bhishma and others, for you and other Jivatmas. Uh, because they are eternal. Uh, Lamentation, delusion, and so on. They don't exist. Katham Bhishmadeha Nakshanti. Katham va tamstu tamstvam shochasi iti bhavaha. So then, where is Bhishma and others dying? And how come you are lamenting? This is the implication here. We'll do this in the next class. Is enough for time being. Vinashi. Okay, this is enough for time being. I'll stop the class now. Continue next week. Questions in Telegram.